Before you move to Indianapolis, here are 5 things that you need to be aware of. I'm Mike Feldman with Bond Real Estate at Compass, and I've sold real estate here in Central Indiana for over 7 years, and I've lived here for pretty much my entire life. My team and I specialize in helping buyers and sellers move to and around the Central Indiana and Greater Indianapolis area. And so today I'm discussing the 5 things that you need to be aware of before you make your move here. The first thing that you need to be aware of are the potholes, and they're everywhere. We're kind of notorious for them, and they're particularly bad in the February, March months because that's when the ground starts to thaw out. And I'm not talking about like small little potholes that you can easily just like run right over. I'm talking about like 2-bed, 1-bath potholes that will swallow up your entire car. So the city does a pretty decent job on patching the potholes, but if they're big enough or there's enough of them, then they'll just take off the entire surface of the road and redo the surface. But potholes are definitely something that you need to be aware of and look out for when you're driving in early spring, late winter. All right, so number 2 is the humidity, and it gets pretty bad. So it could be like 85 degrees, which in some climates isn't horrible, but if it's 85 degrees and like super humid outside, it could feel more like 120 degrees. So you can easily break a sweat when you're simply just like walking to go get your mail. So the number 3 thing that you need to be aware of before moving to Indianapolis are the gray skies, mostly in the winter. But it could be several days and sometimes maybe like a week or 2 before we would even see the sun. And typically, like, I personally don't really mind if it's like super cold outside if the sun's out, but if it's super cold outside and the skies are gray, then that's when it kind of becomes pretty miserable. So especially if you're moving here from a state like Colorado or like Florida or something, then you'll really have to get used to possibly not seeing the sun for a week or 2 at a time in the middle of the winter. Now, summertime and springtime and even the fall, the sun shines quite a bit, but wintertime it gets a little gloomy. So the number 4 thing that you need to be aware of before moving to Indianapolis is that there's not a whole lot of like rugged outdoor activities. You know, Indiana is pretty well known for being flat and not a whole lot of big lakes or big reservoirs, anything like that. All right, so the 5th and final thing that you need to be aware of before you make a move to Indianapolis is that people are probably going to think you live in the middle of a cornfield. A lot of people outside of Indiana can't even point out where it is on a map, or if they can point out where it is, they will literally think that you live in the middle of a cornfield or you go cow tipping on the weekends or something. I've lived in Indiana my entire life and I've never gone cow tipping. I don't live by a cornfield. I've never plowed a field. But my first job was actually corn detasseling. If you don't know what that is, shoot me a message and I'll give you the full rundown of what corn detasseling is. So I guess that kind of debunks my theory a little bit. Oh well. But those are the top 5 things that you need to be aware of before making a move to Indianapolis. If you are considering making a move here, then I would love to chat with you and kind of give you the full rundown. All my contact info is below, so give me a call today, and until next time.